Hello and welcome to another episode of Two Bears and a Cheesehead podcast. I'm your host. I'm only joined by my colleague Nathan Organ tonight. Jake Manning couldn't make it. Had some homework to do, test to study for. I understand the college grind is real. We're gonna have a good show for you, me and Nathan. We know how to give you guys a show, so we'll see what we can do. First topic, we're gonna do Contenders, Pretenders. For some surprise teams that we think are kind of coming up in the NFL that we weren't really expecting. So first team, we're gonna go with the Rams. So Nathan, Contenders, Pretenders.
I'm taking the Rams as contenders this year. I think they're going to win the NFC West, and I think Sean McVay he's a genius. I mean, what we've seen is very similar to what we saw with Kyle Shanahan in Atlanta before he got his head coaching job. A super young guy, a real quarterback whisperer, too. Jared Goff is playing extremely well. His name's floated around the MVP conversation. So I think with their defense, Aaron Donald, best defensive player in the league right now with J.J. Watt out, and I think they could make a little bit of a run.
I agree. I think the big thing with Jared Goff is developing a kind of confidence to know that he belongs in this league and he's got the talent level to definitely contribute at a high level and at a very high level.
No question. I think another thing there is the speed that the Rams have on offense this year, picking up Sammy Watkins to be able to stretch the field. And also I think with Todd Gurley taking pressure off Goff to be able to have some more open throwing lanes, and also Goff has taken the pressure off Gurley a little bit. I think Gurley faced a lot of 9-man boxes last year, but this year defenses are really unable to do that to him because Goff is able to throw the ball down the field.
Yeah, for sure. It's just that confidence factor, knowing that he can throw the ball downfield and he's got the weapons to throw to. I think he only goes up from here. He looks good. I think that'll Goff playing well solidifies Sean McVay his job security in LA. So I'll be excited to see. I'd like to see Jared Goff in the playoffs, see how that goes. I have them as.
I also love the Goff-Wentz debate.
Yeah, for sure. I think
I think it's very exciting, especially with Mariota and Winston not playing as well as they have, or everyone thought they were going to the past year or so, and having Goff step up and take that next step is really good for the league to have a Goff and Wentz debate.
Right. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think Goff and Wentz they're very similar in the way they play.
I totally agree. I think both pocket passers. I think both definitely able to throw the ball down the field, and I think they both add a little bit of that athleticism, especially with what you see with Carson Wentz able to move the pocket and run around and make some plays.
Yeah, for sure. All right, next team we hashed on Marcus Mariota, so that next team would be the Titans. Contenders or Pretenders for the Titans?
Pretenders. I think.
Yeah, I'm right there with you.
Like we were saying, we don't think Mariota's taken that next step this year. He's been very up and down. We haven't really seen the Titans are 6-3 in a very weak AFC South conference and AFC South division, and I don't think Mariota has what it takes. To be honest, he hasn't shown me that he's taken the next step this year.
Next team, the Jags. Contenders or Pretenders?
I'm going Pretenders. I love what the Jags have done this year, but the fact of the matter is when you have Blake Bortles at quarterback, you're not going very far in the playoffs.
Hating on my man's Blake.
I love what the Jaguars have been doing, but Blake is not the answer.
I think
Fournette is the answer. The Jags' defense is on the rise, forcing turnovers all over the place, but they need to find some answer at quarterback.
I think the Jags are contenders purely because it's just a lack of the Titans. Just that, like that. I expect the Titans to fall off, and the Jags are just going to put on cruise control of the division. I don't know if I can't see them winning a playoff game, but I know that I just can't see Mariota or Bortles, for that fact, leading a team to a championship. But I think the Jags will win the division purely because the Titans will fall off.
I also think the part of the reason why I'm picking the Jaguars as pretenders is because the Texans would have run away with this division had Deshaun Watson not had the non-contact injury that he did.
And J.J. Watt, too. So, that's a big thing.
Yeah, those one of the top rookie, probably the top rookie quarterback in the league, combined with the best defensive player in the league going out within 3 weeks of each other, just devastating for the Titans right now.
I think this year in the NFL is the year of the devastating injury. Like, there's been so many big names that have gone down, which is kind of really put the Super Bowl up for grabs, I think.
Yeah, I think. Injuries are always going to happen, but
right,
this
of course.
year
But I think it's really been amplified.
Yeah, this year, just the star power that has gone down with Watt, Odell Beckham going down, Aaron Rodgers going down, and then obviously we were talking about Deshaun Watson, one of the brightest young stars in the league, non-contact injury one day, and he's out for the season. Yeah,
for sure. All right, next team, we're moving on. A team that I have been absolutely against all year, have not believed in at all, still don't believe in them. I'm going to go, it's the Carolina Panthers. I have them for pretenders. I just can't see Cam Newton being at that level where he's going to lead a team to a playoff win, Super Bowl. I think he's past his prime. He's not a very good thrower. He can run, but that's where it ends. And I don't think just being able to run in the NFL as a quarterback gets you very far. Yeah, Michael Vick did it, but Michael Vick's a special character that he did have a good career, but it's only because he's light years faster than Cam Newton.
I totally agree about Vic. Vic was a special player, and I don't think anything like him is going to be replicated anything again for a long time. But I have the Panthers as contenders. And let me tell you why. I think their linebacking core still one of the best in the league with Kuechly, Thomas Davis, and Shaq Thompson playing linebacker. I think those guys make plays all over the field. I think their run game, although it has not been great, they still have a pretty good Jonathan Stewart and a huge weapon in McCaffrey, and I think they've been starting to use him better over the past few weeks. And then I think Newton can do just enough. I'm not saying...
the bare minimum?
Yeah, I'm not saying Newton is going to carry the team, because I think if they put it on his shoulders to carry the team, he's going to be unsuccessful. But I think he can do enough to lead a team to a playoff win or two, especially because they play a playoff style. Run the ball and play good defense.
Do you think the Panthers, if they were to make a run in the playoffs, it's purely only because of their defense?
I think it could happen. I know we don't see normally. Obviously, what we see in the playoffs, teams playing well is a good quarterback and a good defense. I think their defense is good. I don't think they are game-changer good. I don't think they have the capability of forcing turnovers. I think they're a really solid team, but I don't know if that defense is a game-breaking defense.
And can Cam Newton, Ron Rivera, that the banter they've been having, does that have played an effect in how they make their run?
Well, Cam Newton has been pretty immature for the most part this year, which I don't really appreciate. But I think Cam Newton does have the pedigree. He led his team to the Super Bowl a couple of years before getting stifled by one of the best defenses we've ever seen in Denver. But I think Newton can do just enough. I'm not saying it's going to be pretty, but it's only weird if it doesn't work.
I can't agree more. I couldn't agree more. I'm going to throw in a little extra contender pretenders. I'm going to throw in the Green Bay Packers for you. What are your thoughts on where the Packers go from here?
Well, we've been saying for a few weeks now that Green Bay has got to get 3 wins. We said they had to get 4 wins. They got 1 last week against the Bears. There's supposed to be 5 games before A-Rod comes back. They got the Bucks, the Browns, the Steelers, the Ravens, and the Panthers. So we've been saying all along that Green Bay is going to pick up wins. We're assuming they're going to pick up wins against the Browns and the Bucks, which means they got to beat one of the Ravens at home this Sunday, the Steelers on the road next Sunday, or the Panthers in December on the road. All three tough games. I think our best bet is this weekend against the Ravens, a team that plays a lot like the Bears, and a team that we were able to shut down for the most part last week. So I think our best bet is to beat the Ravens this week. Then we could go 3-2 over this last stretch of 5 games, get to a record of 8-6, and then A-Rod comes back and works his magic, leads us to 2 wins over divisional opponents. 10-6, who knows?
Yeah, as much as I really dislike the Packers, I have a very profound respect for Aaron Rodgers. The way that he goes about his business, he knows exactly what he's doing. He's a competitor, which I love in anybody in any sport, soccer, football, baseball, basketball. Just the way that he lets the game come to him. He doesn't do too much. He knows what he can do. He could throw for 400 yards for trees as wide receivers. That's how good he is. He works with what he's got. You never hear any complaining, especially with the relaxed thing. As much as that was kind of annoying being a Bears fan, you gotta love the composure that he's got, regardless of the situation. Which, I mean, you guys have been spoiled for so long with Aaron Rodgers at quarterback, and I'm sure it's been kind of weird dealing with a very average quarterback.
Even more so because Brett Favre preceded him for 15 years before that. So,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, we've been spoiled at quarterback for the better part of 25 years now. And you're right; it's definitely odd to have a young guy come in that isn't just throwing darts all over the field, making plays with his legs, like especially with Rodgers, we've seen. And what I love about Rodgers is just, I kind of liken it to, when you're at a concert and you see the guys up on stage and they're good and they know it and they're having the
right.
best
That's like
time
Aaron
of their
Rodgers.
lives, just playing music. That's what I feel like. Rodgers is good and he knows it, and he has a lot of fun playing football, and it's just so fun to watch people that are really good at what they do and they just have the best time of their lives doing it.
And I feel like the best professional athletes, the ones that are at the top of the game, LeBron, Aaron Rodgers, Jose Altuve, it's not like they're even playing in a professional game. They're in the backyard like they weren't kids. Like they don't have any thought. They're just playing. And I love that about like I said, the LeBrons and the Jose Altuves, the Aaron Rodgers. That's what stands out to me.
I think that's the end goal of sports.
Exactly.
I think that's the end goal. You work up initially, you're in the backyard, and you're trying to work all the way up to the pros, and eventually you want to get so good that it feels like the backyard again.
Exactly. We're gonna kind of stay on the topic of Green Bay. Let you just kind of take the preview for this weekend. Tell you what you're thinking. Like you said, you kind of gave us a little brief of ideal situation, getting to 10-6, hopefully.
Yeah, so that's the game plan. The game plan for me, realistically right now, I think we can get to 10-6, and this week is huge. Going up against a Ravens team that has not been very explosive on offense. I feel like they play a pretty good amount like the Chicago Bears, a really good run game and a pretty good defense, with Flacco not playing very well lately. So I think this is a game that we can win. We shut down the Bears' run attack for the most part last week.
Yeah, that was the key to the win.
Yeah, they started throwing the ball on us near the end, but I think that was more a product of our prevent defense because Capers is a bum. But moving past that, I think Jamal Williams last week, I said to the guys at the game, I said, this is going to be the week that Jamal Williams goes off. And I did not mean to – I want to apologize to anyone listening who had Aaron Jones on the fantasy team because I did not mean to jinx that whatsoever. Jones and Montgomery both went down, so I sincerely apologize for that. But Jamal Williams he ran hard all game, and I think he continues to do that this week. Okay,
we're going to continue. We're going to go with the Bears-Lions preview. Lions sitting at 5-4. Bears are at 3-6. The matchup plays well into the Bears' hands, I feel like. They have the 9th best defense in the league. They have some good corners to shut down a high-powered Lions attack. Lions are 8th team in the league in passing. 29th team in the league in rushing, which I feel like our big key is to win games. If we have to score at least one defensive touchdown if we even have a chance, because our defense has been really good and our offense has not. John Fox's play calling has just not been good. It's very predictable. From here, you're in that little stage where you win this game, great. You're getting towards the top of the division. You beat a division opponent, but at the same time, you're right in the middle of the pack where you're looking at a 14th pick in the draft, 14th, 15th pick in the draft, and that just doesn't look good in a team that's trying to build. And it's obviously we don't have it this year, so it's like, do you tank or do you make an incredible run? It's a hard
tanking season.
Yeah, I know, especially in Chicago with the Bulls too. But
the Bulls.
I think if the Bears end up kind of tossing in the towel the rest of the season, our main target should be a wide receiver because we got the defense. We need to make sure we solidify that defense, the core, the Trevathan, Leonard Floyd, Akeem Hicks. That should be the big key. I think we need to get an outside threat. And I think, I don't know, an Alshon Jeffrey type would be nice just to give someone for Trubisky to throw the ball to, because Trubisky really is working with nothing.
I think Inman played well last week.
He did play well, but
he showed flashes. I don't know if he's a true number one though.
Well, no, not at all. But he's all we've got right now. I mean, he's the closest thing to a number one we've got, and that's probably why he's there. So I think if the Bears can pull this off, I mean, it'll be a magical comeback if they can. I mean, somehow get to 9-7 and give themselves a chance. But I honestly don't see it happening with what we've got under the tutelage of John Fox. Moving forward, I think I try your best and have some fun, I guess. But we'll just see where we go from here. Next, we're going to move into weekly thing. We got a list for you. We're going to go top 5 NBA point guards. Turn this over to Nathan. Let you take over. See what we're working with.
All right. I'm going to go backwards. So at number 5, I got Damian Lillard.
All right.
I think one of the best scorers in the league. Number 4, John Wall. John Wall has been criminally underappreciated, and I think
he's having a good year. The Wizards are playing well.
He's playing even better. He just keeps taking his game to the next level. I'm a big John Wall fan. I used to hate him, but he's grown on me a lot.
You hate him at Kentucky?
I wasn't a fan of him at Kentucky, but he's definitely grown on me. I didn't really like him coming in as a rookie, super cocky guy, and he didn't really back it up too much. I don't think his first couple of years, but he definitely has upped his game the past few years, and I think he's having a strong season now as well. Number 3, I'm going to go Kyrie. Kyrie has led his team to 13 straight wins at the time of this recording, which is pretty incredible in the NBA. They're playing the Warriors tonight. That's going to be a huge game.
What time are they playing?
I think they're on right now, actually.
Really?
Best in the East against the best record in the West. That's going to be one of the regular season games of the year, I think.
I'll have to check up on that.
Number 2, I'm going Steph Curry.
Okay.
Just the way that the game gravitates because he's in. He totally stretches the floor for his team. He's obviously one of the best three-point shooters in the league. The best point guard three-point shooter in the league, I think. And just the fact that he's got the total package as the point guard, I think. The passing, shooting, ball handle. And then number 1, I'm going Russell Westbrook.
That's that's a given.
He's the biggest force in the league. Just him coming at you on the fast break with a full head of steam is like a runaway train. It's terrifying.
Yeah, for sure. Don't want to get in the way of that. My number 5 is John Wall. I unfortunately snubbed Damian Lillard. I didn't put him above my 5. I don't see him as. I think he's right there at number 6, but I just don't put him in the top 5. My number 4 is Steph Curry. What?
What'd you replace him with?
Just listen. My number 4 is Steph Curry. I think Steph Curry is an incredible athlete, an incredible player, but I think he's very one-dimensional. You shut down his shooting, and you pretty much shut down Steph Curry. My number 3 is Kyrie. he's a shooter, but he can't go to the basket when he needs to. My number 2 is Isaiah Thomas, one of the best scorers in the league. I think he's very underappreciated. I think I put him under the category that you put John Wall in. Yes, he's been hurt this year, but I think once he comes back, the Cavs will find themselves at the top of the East in no time. And my number 1's a given. Russell Westbrook, Magic Johnson type, get to the basket. He'll score anytime you want. He'll dunk on you. He'll shoot a 3 in your face. You give him the ball in clutch situations. I think him, George, and Anthony, they could easily get Oklahoma City a title, no doubt about it. I think I might have had them in my finals prediction. I don't even remember. But I think that Westbrook, George, and Anthony would be a real powerhouse in the West.
Oh, if they heat up, they can beat any team in the league.
Oh, for sure.
They have the firepower to do it, no question.
And it's just another big 3, another super team, which I think people complain about it, but I love it. I mean, I think I'd rather have 6 super teams than a balanced attack, I guess, lack of a better term.
I think it's NFL is better to have parity in, but NBA having all these athletes out on the floor, I think having super teams is super good for the league, just because the NBA is trying to entertain, and I think they're doing a phenomenal job of doing it right now.
And moving on, we're gonna go to our segments. First one, Whom's Mans. My Whom's Mans is Billy Preston, Kansas freshman. Got in like a car accident thing. The rumor has it that he hit a curb and damaged wheels, which I don't understand, because if there was just that, why is there this big investigation about it? Which we'll have to see where that goes, especially in a team, Kansas, that possibly could be under this FBI investigation, this whole recruiting thing, which would be interesting to see how that whole plays out and affect college basketball this year.
All right, my Whom's Fans, I'm going to go with the Chicago Bulls for putting up 7 points in the first quarter against OKC.
They're just a disaster of a franchise.
Are we sure the Chicago Bulls are an NBA franchise right now?
I'm not. They're tanking, and I just think their franchise for the next 10 years is just going to be a continuous tank. Like, it's going to be like the Cubs when they tanked for 5 years, but like they're going to get to year 5 and then they're going to tank for 5 more years. I don't see them going anywhere. I don't know why you would want to go play basketball in Chicago, besides the fact that Michael Jordan stepped in the same arena. But I can't see the Bulls going anywhere. Next,
the Bulls are owning it. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. The Bulls are owning tanking season, and I respect it. But 7 points in a quarter—that's unbelievable.
Next, dude of the week, mine's Grayson Allen for his 37-point performance at the Champions Classic. He put on an absolute show. Duke is scary, and this is not a team that if they get a 2 seed that they'll get upset by a 15 seed. I see them making a run to the Elite Eight, Final Four. They are dangerous. Grayson Allen, like I said, at the head of that team, running that team. He's an amazing shooter. He's an amazing talent. I think this whole new Grayson Allen thing, I'm not sure how I like it, because the whole Christian Laettner, everybody hated Christian Laettner. I kind of like having Grayson Allen. Everybody hates Grayson Allen. That little the demon, if you must, of college basketball, which I like.
He's a classic. He's a classic Duke boy. Someone everybody loves to hate.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, my dude of the week is the entire New Orleans Saints running game.
They had a performance.
They put up over 200 yards on the ground against the Bills' defense on Sunday. Ingram and Kamara had 100 yards each, and they ran for 6 total touchdowns.
Drew Brees had one?
What'd you say?
Drew Brees had one?
Drew Brees did have one. Pretty impressive for the old man. And I'd also like to point out that the Saints at one point ran the ball 24 times in a row. Sounds like a high school team, I know.
Yeah, that's insane. Pure Notre Dame?
Interesting.
I heard something. There was a playoff game last weekend that Richwoods had a drive where they had 40 plays, and I'm pretty sure they ran the ball 40 times on the drive.
40 plays on one drive? That's incredible.
All right, we're going to move into NFL picks of the week. My lock, I'm just going to, nice and easy, just going to throw up a lob. Jags beating the Browns.
lock in.
I'm gonna lock in the Jags.
Whoever offense on the Browns.
I could for the next like 5 or 6 weeks be like, my lock is the Browns opponent. I don't even have to know who it is, but no, it's the Browns opponent. My upset's gonna be the LA. My upset's gonna be the LA Rams. They're 2.5 point underdogs. I see them going into Minnesota. Jared Goff throwing the ball all around the field. I see them taking Minnesota, winning by at least 7.
All right, my lock of the week, I'm going with the Saints over the Washington franchise. I think the balanced Saints offense, again, is going to have a field day against that defense. And my upset, I'm going with your Chicago Bears.
All right, I like it.
Going with the Bears. I think they're going to have a big week running the ball. They're going to get back on track. I think Green Bay abandoned the run against them. For what reason, I don't really know. But I think the Bears will definitely get back to it this week, and they're going to have a good week against the Lions.
I like what I hear. I'm a little piping hot take for you. Now, this might be not as piping hot as you may think, but it's definitely a hot take. I'm going to say that the Dallas Cowboys will not make the playoffs. I think the Ezekiel Elliott factor of him not being there, I think this suspension hopefully is for good.
Yeah, he finally went through his appeal, right?
I know. So we're gonna add a hot take to this piping hot take. We're gonna say that the Dallas Cowboys are gonna go on another string of 8-8 seasons in a row. Starting this year, they're gonna finish 8-8 and go 8-8 until 2024.
I personally love it. I think the NFL is much better when the Dallas Cowboys are going 8-8 every season.
Oh, I love it. It adds character for real.
I think the NFL is more of the NFL when the Cowboys
are. For sure. Like, when everyone says, like, oh, America's team, like, I would much rather America's team go 8-8 every year. Because that's just kind of on the level that I want.
I feel like America's team shouldn't be the Cowboys because Americans aren't mediocre. Americans are the best there is.
Of course.
All right, I'm going with my hot take is I'm going to say that the Saints are going to get the number 1 seed in the NFC over Philly.
Okay.
The Saints are down in the standings right now by a game, and I think Philly has an easier schedule as well. They do play Dallas twice, but obviously Dallas is going to be without Elliott for both of those matchups, I believe. And I think the Saints, I'm all in on the Saints right now. I think they're the most dangerous team in the league with a running game and with possible Hall of Fame Drew Brees still running the show at quarterback over there. So I think the Saints are going to have home field advantage in the Superdome throughout the playoffs this year.
All right, I like it. Next, we're going to talk a little MLB award reaction. This was a good season in the MLB, the season of the home run, which I personally enjoy. I hate how everyone's talking about pace of play. Don't even get me started on Brian Kenny, who he literally is not even I tweeted it, Arsenio16, hit it up. I tweeted that Brian Kenny is not actually a baseball fan. He's just someone who's paid to like just scrutinize the game, which I absolutely hate because, yeah, you're on MLB Network, but all he's talked about is like the sabermetrics and the stats, and like I get that. I'm a stats guy. I love the sabermetrics. I think that's a big part in scouting players, but there's a line to be drawn when you talk about sabermetrics. I think that at the forefront, there shouldn't be as much sabermetrics as there is. Yeah, I love StatCast, but really StatCast, it's not even real. Like, I could be like, oh, that ball was hit.
StatCast is fake news.
Definitely fake news.
That's my piping hot take. StatCast is fake news.
StatCast is a fake news. But no, like I said, pace of play, you can't fix pace of play and have more offense. Because if you try and fix the fact that there's less pitching changes and less mound visits, you can't do that. Because if there's more offense, there needs to be more like pitchers coming into the game. So if a starting pitcher gets knocked around for 9 runs, of course you're going to need a mound visit because they suck. So you're going to have to bring in a new pitcher. And if they get tagged for more runs, you're going to want to bring in a new pitcher because obviously that pitcher wasn't working. Pace of play, I mean, yeah, it's an issue, but it's an issue that you can't fix with more offense. It's not possible. Anyway, that's my little spiel. But on to the MLB Awards. American League MVP, Jose Altuve, hitting 346, AL best, 204 hits, 32 stolen bases, 23 homers. It was the easy pick. It was almost like Mike Trout when he won it. It's set in stone. You know it's Jose Altuve. The National League, in the third closest vote in NL MVP history, Giancarlo Stanton edged Joey Votto by 2 points. 59 homers, 132 RBIs. I think the homers is really the only reason why he won it. Obviously, just for the fact that he hit 59 bombs, which is just incredible. You could give it to Joe. What? Corked balls. Yeah. Or just corked biceps.
Yeah, corked biceps. Corked everything. That'll do it to you.
AL Cy Young, Corey Kluber. That dude is nasty. I enjoy watching pitching GIFs of just Corey Kluber's slider because that thing moves across the continent. I mean, it's just absolutely insane. I will retweet those every time I see them. National League Cy Young winner, Max Scherzer. Well-deserved. Kershaw is in the discussion, but Scherzer logged more innings. He had a better batting average against. There was like the park-adjusted ERA, which Brian Kenny was talking about, which Kershaw edged him by about, I think one point or whatever, however that works. But still, I got to chalk it up to Scherzer. He was more durable throughout the season. 16-6, 2.51 ERA, 0.9 WHIP. Led the NL with 268 strikeouts, which is huge. Rookie of the Year was just no doubter. Aaron Judge, 52 home runs, hit 284. That doesn't speak much volume because he did have a hot streak where he was hitting 330 and on top of the AL. He also did have a very rough patch where he went through. National League Rookie of the Year, Cody Bellinger, 39 home runs, 267, 352 on base. Second consecutive Dodger to win the NL honor after Corey Seager last year. AL Manager of the Year, a well-deserved Paul Molitor. The Twins become the first team in ever to go from losing 100 games one season to be in the postseason the next, which is absolutely insane. I love that turnaround. I can't wait to see how the Twins, Jorge Polanco, Miguel Sano, I can't wait to see how that turns out. NL Manager of the Year, Torey Lovullo, 24-game turnaround in Arizona, makes the playoffs, beat the Rockies in the wild card game, which was impressive. It was a good season for the MLB. I had fun watching it. The playoffs were good. The Astros, I'm glad they won it. If it's not the Cubs, I would have liked the Astros too. They're a fun team to watch, especially for the city of Houston. It's big for Houston, and with all the disaster that has struck the city. Last, we're gonna talk about college basketball.
Did you see the one thing? Did you see that picture? Did you see this? Giancarlo Stanton, tallest MVP ever.
Really?
Jose Altuve tied for the shortest MVP
That's crazy.
ever.
Now, I also saw another stat. This is the second year in a row that the MVP is from a World Series champion, and he fielded the last out of World Series. Chris Bryant last year, Jose Altuve this year. That's why I love baseball. Cool things like that.
The ball will find you.
Now, I wonder if next year, just to make sure this streak continues, they give it to I don't even know. Let's just say the Dodgers win it next year, and like AJ Ellis is traded to the Dodgers, and he hits 190, but they just give it to AJ Ellis just because he fielded the last out. I don't know.
Conspiracy theory. They give the MVP to whoever fields the last out in the World Series.
Yeah, let's just imagine the names on that thing. The Cubs win it, Jason Hayward wins NL MVP for fielding the last out of the World Series. No, Jason Hayward is my LVP on the field, but in the clubhouse, he's my MVP because
in the clubhouse, he's a big clubhouse guy.
Yeah, you need guys like that. I hope my hope is that they pay Hayward to opt out. They sign my guy Bryce Harper. We win 7 more titles in a row.
Hey, the man can dream, can he?
Yeah, sure can. A little college basketball. I'm excited to see Duke. Oh, Duke. Wow. Like I said, Duke. They look crazy good. The Duke-Michigan State game was a good game. I thought Duke was going to run away with it, but Michigan State kept fighting back. Michigan State had 3 guys score 19 points, and the next highest scorer was at 9. Grayson Allen, 11 of 20 from the field, Played all 40 minutes, 37 points. Duval is another guy that will be fun to watch. And Grayson Allen he said that Trayvon Duval, they asked Grayson Allen how he got all of his points, and he's like, I chalk it up to Trayvon Duval because he got all of them, got his shots, 17 points, 10 assists. Marvin Bagley went down with like an eye injury because he's soft.
Got poked in the eye or something like that?
Yeah, he's too soft to play. But no, the big thing with Duke is their starters. The bench scored 11 points.
The bench is so thin.
I mean, that could be the only thing I could see stopping Duke from winning a title is their depth. If they get into foul trouble, if Bagley gets into foul trouble, if Trent gets into foul trouble, I can see them just running into an issue with a 15 seed that just lights up the floor from beyond the arc. Also, Kentucky, Kansas, neither team really impressed me. Kansas, I know, is a good shooting team, but they did not shoot very well. Devontae Graham went 3 of 14 from the field. Mikhailo Chukuk went 7 of 18. Malik Newman went 4 of 14. Azubuike looked good down in the paint. I read a story that there's a high school senior that in the middle, he's finishing his senior year of high school in like November, like the end of this month, and reclassifying, and he's going to join the team in December.
Join the Kansas team?
Yes. And be eligible to play.
So how is that going to work? Like, so this is his freshman year?
I mean, I guess he's finishing up classes senior year. I don't know. See, then there's like that. Is he a freshman now? Can he be a freshman next year?
Yeah, is he a one and done?
He'll probably be a one and done because he's like 6'10" or something like that.
Is he eligible for a one and done with half a semester worth of basketball games under his belt?
Yeah, we'll see.
Or half a semester classes, I guess.
I don't know how that's going to work out.
Student athletes.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Student athletes, of course. Kevin Knox, he looked great. I'm pretty bummed because he was considering going to Mizzou. It was down to like Kentucky and Mizzou, which I'm pretty bummed that he chose Kentucky because he looked great. Played 37 minutes, 20 points, 3 of 6 from beyond the arc. He was really the only bright spot of that Kentucky team. Kentucky does not impress me. This is another thing I tweeted. Kentucky's going to be a team where I'm staring at their 4-13 matchup going, man, like they're really athletic, but they can't shoot. But they're really athletic, but they can't shoot. It's just going to be a toss-up, and I can see them going out first round. I don't see them making a run, but this happens every year. They don't play well at the start, but at the end they turn it up. Kansas, like I said, they look good. Mizzou, it's going to turn it over to my rant. Now, I was expecting
Mizzou. Game update. The Celtics pick up their 14th straight.
No way. That's crazy.
92-88.
How many did Kyrie drop? Give me a little check.
Doesn't say here, but I know he hit the game-winning free throws with 14 seconds to go.
I'm about to look this up because I need to know. This could be a hot topic on the pod tonight.
No question.
Shout out to Grueling Truth.
Of course.
Making the dream happen. At the Grueling Truth. At the Grueling Truth. KD had 24. Jaylen Brown, big game with 22. Kyrie had 16. All the starters in double digits. Jason Tatum had 12. Jaylen Brown 22. The Warriors side of things, Draymond Green 11. KD with 24. They held Curry to 9 points. Like I said, Curry went 3 of 14. When you shut down Steph Curry, when you shut down Steph Curry's shot, you shut down Steph Curry. Zaza Pachulia, the most worthless player in a basketball team ever. Andre Iguodala had 8 off the bench, playing 30 minutes. Oh, that'll be the Celtics. They're gonna be a fun team to watch throughout the season. Now, I mean, it's definitely that time of year. Do they break the record?
There's only one way to find out.
Just wait and see. Watch how the season turns out.
Let's watch some more Celtics basketball.
Might as well. My rant of the week, I got Mizzou, the Mizzou basketball team. Now, I was hyping them up last week, and they went out to Utah and got absolutely smacked. 77-59. Now, this Michael Porter thing, they're talking about this hip injury being a cause for concern. Now, I'm no doctor, but I can't see a hip injury keeping Michael Porter out for too long, especially when he's trying to improve his draft stock and make sure, or not improve, solidify his draft stock. I think he's obviously going to go one and done. But without Michael Porter, that Mizzou team did not look very good. They had Jonte. They did not shoot very well either. It took them like 8 minutes to make a field goal. And Utah, they shot really well. They hit everything they breathed at. I think it's a bounce back game for them, a game where their young team, it's a learning experience to when you're not shooting well, you got to find other ways to get points. So we'll see how they respond. I don't even know when they play next. I think it's their tournament. They're playing like Long Beach State. So we'll see how that fares for them. I know you were at the Marquette Purdue game the other day. What'd you see?
I saw a Purdue team that is dangerous. I mean, the Isaac Haas, 7'2", 290-pound Frankenstein-looking guy. He had 22 points in 20 minutes. They didn't really even need to use him that much because he was a straight-up easy button against Marquette. And as soon as Marquette decided to wise up and start doubling the guy, they have three-point shooters around him. So I think Purdue, a team with a lot of good wings and a good point guard in P.J. Thompson around Isaac Haas, I think they're definitely a team to look out for in the Big Ten this year.
That'd be interesting to see. They're always a team that I know a friend of mine, Will Pudick, always picks Purdue to like the Sweet 16. And they always do it. I'm not sure how. They always have two big guys that get them through 2 games in the NCAA tournament.
That's what it is, Isaac Haas, and they also have another 7-foot lefty. His name's Matt Harms.
I hate lefty big men. I know Jonte Porter's a lefty.
I hate him so much.
But we'll see. To end this short pod, we're gonna let Nathan take it from here. We're gonna let Nathan take the wheel, take it from our hands. Give us a quote.
All right. I'm gonna stick to the college topic. I think the NCAA and everybody affiliated with it needs to get back to the student-athlete designation.
And be more integrity.
I would prefer even to fail with honor than to win by cheating.
I love it.
I think the NCAA needs to take a second look and
look in the mirror. Get back to reality. As Eminem likes to say.
I'm starting with the man in the mirror.
All right.
We're a big Michael Jackson podcast. So
Thriller. I mean, as you can tell. Anyway.
Of course.
So that's what me and Nathan got for you this week. Thank you for listening. Special episode on Sunday. The boys are back in town. Nathan's back. Are you back?
I'm not back. Next Thursday, I'm back.
All right, so Thursday will be the special episode.
Thursday or Friday.
Sunday will be kind of special because
Sunday will be pretty special. Sunday will be special.
Jake's gonna be in town, so me and Jake will be together. We'll be always Skyping right. Nathan. But Thursday or Friday, whenever we decide to do the podcast, it'll be special. The boys are gonna be back.
We'll be back.
We'll hug it out. It'll be nice and refreshing. But that's
back of the week. The boys.
The boys. The boys are always back. The boys are back in town. Hashtag Thin Lizzy. But thank you guys. We love you. Thank you for listening. Enjoy.
Have a phenomenal weekend.
Hey, happy Thanksgiving. Don't be afraid to eat.
Thanksgiving. We'll see you again on Sunday.
Say